Paul Dorpat, Louis Charles, two middle names, and I'm a friend of Jean's here who's doing the interview. Yes, yeah, they're enjoying the fact that they are together at the Champs-Élysées with the tower. They probably feel a certain victory. And then they feel enthused, and obviously enthused, yeah. Mom's smiling, Dad's smiling. It's good to see that. That was her hat, yeah. I guess a church lady hat, yeah. The Lutherans are derived from Catholicism in the sense of the rebellion against Catholics, but they retained much of their dress and their look. So when he puts all that stuff on, he's simply keeping the older traditions of dress, I guess, alive, rather than Presbyterians, they were like the Pietists. The Presbyterians were like sober, steadfast, solemn, restrained, very restrained. Lutherans were capable of throwing it out there and playing it up. It's a lot of opportunities there for indulgence and play if you're a Lutheran preacher compared to if you're a Catholic priest. I do remember once after school, returning from Lewis and Clark High School and coming to the parsonage, that we got some of the wine out of Dad's reserve and shared some of it. I don't think we got drunk, though. I think we might have got tipsy, but we didn't get drunk. I never got drunk, frankly. I was much too sober, steadfast in my own life. I think they took a bit of a jaunt around Europe. Yeah, Germany they would have visited probably more than any other place, yeah. And he was made fun of for his German, which was not contemporary. He knew a lot of things that the Germans at the time, when they went there, were amused by his use of the language. I mean, they understood him in German, but they were amused. And that picture of them below the Eiffel Tower, that's a lovely photograph. I should put that above my desk. I remember it being pretty peaceful, kindly, and helpful. Dad would frequently help out me if I had to get somewhere or wanted to get something. He would go get it. You know, he drove the car, but he was always kind of willing to help out. And Mom, I just think of her as a motherly homekeeper in the kitchen a lot, you know, making food to eat and the like. So they got along well. I don't remember them having trouble. Well, they would have a lot of reason to act properly because there's a lot of expectation that they would act properly coming from everyone. Not only is he a preacher, but he's married. Not at all. In fact, I was rather proud of it. Not that that's when I was, particularly when I was still a Christian. I mean, then I could, you know, I am a preacher's son. Oh, look at me, huh? I must be pretty holy. No, I never was bothered by it. It gave me in the church, it gave me a definite prestige. Well, it's the voice of the Lord, but it's the voice of my dad acting instead of the Lord, I think. He liked my dad a lot. So my dad was likable, you know. He was a...
Thou art not welcome here, Jack. Return to the planet from whence thou came. Heaven awaits.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
You hit it on the square. You hit it on the circle. You hit it from every kind of formation. You did it. You are...
Voice of God.
The voice of God. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
There's not many Presbyterians that can claim that. You have to embrace all that corruption if you decide to go back to the original church.
Yeah.
Not really original, but further back. So, yeah. Mama, I'm very happy we could be here and return to a place we were together years ago. And remember, we were there together, my dear. I was not pushy. I was right there by your side and you by mine. Now, I sometimes wonder, wouldn't it be swell if we could be right now back in Spokane helping our son Paul put on his rock and roll festival? And she answered, yes, I sometimes think about Paul, that it would be better if we weren't here, but rather in Spokane, helping him pull in the crowds. I do feel that way. Maybe we should leave Europe and go back and help our son. I think that's true. And it had to do with looking up from a bed at somebody coming and making some commotion around the bed I was in. A little noise, you know. And they were told, shh, Paul's sleeping. Quiet down. I would think of probably Mom.
Okay.
Shh, Paul's sleeping. Quiet down now. Let's let Paul sleep. Okay, Mommy. I don't think they'd ever been there, actually, no. No, I remember the story. They had not been there. I can't remember whether my parents got a Holy Land deal attached or not. But would figure, wouldn't it? I remember thinking those things as a kid of 12 or something, that, oh, this is exceptional. We were just drinking what the adults drink. So we just went along with it and knew where they kept it in the sacristy. Went back there and got a little drunk every once in a while. Well, there are lots of Concordias. They're all over the United States. They were all connected with Lutheranism, and
right.
Mostly with the Missouri Synod. So the Missouri Synod had probably a dozen different Concordia colleges. Okay, and the one in Portland was the one in the Northwest. You had to have one up here somewhere, and it was in Portland.
Right.
Which was the old, distinguished town, you know, in the Northwest. Portland was the older town than Spokane or Seattle. Oh, no, they were pretty liberal. That wasn't hard for them to do at all. You wouldn't even have to even know it. I mean, well, two of my brothers went to Whitworth, and that was because it was the college in our hometown. We could live at home. We could use the car, the family car, so no, made total sense. Well, Gonzaga was Catholic, that's why. We were prejudiced against Catholics, even though the Lutheran Church has more of a feed to Catholicism than Presbyterianism. When it comes to that part where we have to really consider doctrine, we have to stick with the Presbyterians, unfortunately. I remember the guy who took over. I don't remember. I thought, boy, he's in tough shape because he's got to take over for that my dad.
Well, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Dorpat.
Yes.
He who must be obeyed, man behind the curtain, the great and powerful Dorpat.
Thank you, sir.
All right.